Hello YouTube. This is what is this? November the 20th. This is Friday, and I'm going to do a video on my Lance camper. And I don't usually do selfies, but anyway, I think you can see the camper behind me. There it is. Just wanted to let you guys see who's doing the talking, but now we're going to go back to this. This is the back of this camper. It's a Lance camper. This is a 1181, and Lance doesn't make this particular camper anymore, but I'm going to show the solar that I put on here. So we're going to go up on the roof here, climb up here on the ladder, and get up here on the roof. Okay. I have 3 panels up here. There's one there, 2 there. They're 100-watt panels. Okay. And I've explained this before, I believe, but all of your solar panels come with 10-gauge wire. That's this small wire right here. I, of course, did these in parallel, so all the positives are connected together and the 3 negatives are connected together. But the wire size that I use to go down from the roof into my camper right here, this wire size is 4 gauge, so a little bit bigger, takes more of the wattage, and I don't lose power, but I don't have a long run. But anyway, this is that self-leveling caulk. Forgot the name of it, but really good stuff. This has never ever leaked, and so of course I had to set this up in such a way that it works for me on this camper. Now these 2 panels here I got from a place called Missouri Wind and Solar, and this panel here is a Renogy panel. Okay, so of course, like I said, I'm standing on the roof, very sturdy, and also the Lance camper does come with 1 set of panels there. I believe those are 2 50-watt panels, so for 100 watts, and that's a trickle charge for the battery, and that's what comes with the Lance camper. We have a slide on this camper, as you can see the slide sticking out. Okay, so we are going to get back down off of the roof. You gotta remember, I am 65 years old, be 66 soon, so of course I have to be careful getting up and down. Excuse the maybe quality of this video, sorry. Anyway, there is a slide on the camper. It's a big camper. There's the overhead sleeping, and I have it here set up on blocks. It helps take the weight off of the jacks. Okay, but anyway, we're going to go over here and we're going to go underneath, and I'm going to show you how I set this up. And this is set up, of course, the way I wanted it. There's not really a right and a wrong way to do this. Well, I guess there is, but let me just show you what I have down here. Okay, on these Lance campers, of course, there's not a lot of room down here. They come with 2 batteries. Now these are just your normal lead acid batteries. I know I should have better batteries. They are expensive, but if you're going to live in an RV full time, all the time, you will want to get lithium ion batteries. They're the best. Unfortunately, they're about $1,000 each. These batteries, on the other hand, are about $100. These have lasted me about 3 years. Anyway, the wires that I showed you up there in the ceiling, well, they come in right there, the 2 positive and negative wires. And as this says right here, this is positive from the solar panel. It goes to a 15-amp breaker, and then the wire comes in and goes into my charge controller. Now I have a Morningstar. It's just a regular pulse wave modified. You can see the green light flashing, which means the panels are charging the batteries. Okay, so as I said, the positive comes in here, goes through a breaker, so I can turn off the panels if I ever want to work on anything. comes into the charge controller, and then it goes back out. Here's the positive coming back out of the charge controller. Oops, here's the positive coming back out of the charge controller, and it goes up here to a 63 amp circuit breaker, and that comes over here, and it goes to this battery right here, the positive. Okay, and of course the negative comes in. This one is the negative, and it comes into the charge controller, and then the negative comes out, and the negative goes over here to the shunt. And from the shunt, you have the negative to this battery right here. Now all of these batteries, this one here, and then these two batteries here, are connected in parallel. Positive, positive, negative, negative. And also this right here is my fuse breaker for my inverter. Now this inverter here is a, I believe, I can't see it, I'm pretty sure it's a 2500 watt, but it's a modified sine wave inverter. It's not a pure sine wave. I've used modified for the TV, laptops, phones, and I've had no problems with it. But back to this little setup here. Here of course is the ground wire coming out, and here is the charge controller ground wire, and then this ground wire right here comes from the inverter. The ground wires are just grounded right there to that bolt there. So this is my setup. It's pretty simple. Now this wire right here goes inside, and we'll take inside here in a second, and this is the positive from the shunt. It has a breaker right here, and then you have the two grounds, and then the signal wire, because this, well, there's a lot of good videos on YouTube. One guy that I watch, his name is David, and I'm going to do a plug for his channel. It's called Fate Unbound. He's got a pretty good little setup. Now nowadays he had a what did he have? He had a charge controller and a transfer switch. Now you can get those all in a really good inverter, which is an inverter charger, and it does everything. All right, but you do need a battery monitoring system. So I am going to now take you inside, and we're going to go inside the camper, and I'm going to show you the battery monitor system that I have. So as we come into the camper, right here is the battery monitoring system. Okay, now this is the trimetric. This is from Bogart Engineering. Very good. And as you can see right now, I'm pulling in 13.1 volts. I switch over to amps. I've only got 0.9 amps are being drawn. I'm not sure what that's from. And then battery state of charge is 100, because I am also plugged in. Okay, now for me, and this is just me, okay, here, this thing right here, I'm going to connect it to my inverter down below so that I can remote access or turn on my inverter up here in the cab or the inside of the camper. Otherwise, I just have to go outside and turn it on. Now, what I do when we're on the road and I want solar, I will take my shore power plug, which is 30 amps, and I drop it down to a 15 amp plug, and I plug it into the inverter. Now what I have to remember to do, and I probably have got this screwed down so I can't take it off, but right behind my panel right here, yeah, this is screwed down, but anyway, is my converter. Now, if I want to run my solar, like I said, I have to remember to unplug my converter. Otherwise, you get a feedback loop, and you don't want that. Now, the fellow that I talked about, David, on Fate Unbound, what he did was he just basically disconnected his converter. So he just basically totally bypasses it. Anyway, this little system works for me. This is a good little camper. It has the Jensen radio. It's got surround sound. There's all your controls and everything else. I did switch all of my lighting to LED lighting. Everything now is LED. Works great. It's got the air conditioner, and you probably can't see it, but anyway, in here is the full bath. And then the bed. I do have a 12-volt TV there. So this is good, but I want to sell this camper. It's really too big for me. It does have a brand new Dometic refrigerator, and me and my wife put in this refrigerator. I had to take off this entire door frame to get the refrigerator out. So anyway, I hope this video is good and you like it, and it explains a little bit of how I set up my solar. I'm not saying this is the best way to set it up or anything, but this is what works for me. Now, if I was to keep this camper, let's just switch. And back to yours truly. If you're wondering why I have the beard and the long hair, let's see, I have some hair back here. My daughter got me into being Santa Claus. So me and my wife do Santa Claus. Anyway, so that's me. If it was me and I was going to keep this camper, I would put 3 200 or 300 watt panels on the roof, and then I would put better batteries. But I don't have better batteries to put on, because I want to just go ahead and get rid of this. And the way we have this set up right now, we can watch TV for 5-6 hours at night, run the pump, run the lights, charge our laptops, our cell phones, and it works good. And we went on the road and traveled and never once stayed in a campground. We would boondock, and it works great, unless you are have cloudy days and things like that. Now, another method you can do too is hook up the wires and put it into the alternator, and there's other things you have to do. But anyway, I just thought I'd let you guys see this, and I hope you enjoy this. I know I'm looking weird at that button there. I don't usually do selfies. So anyway, I hope you enjoy this, and you guys all have a great day, and we'll talk to you later.